Hi, good morning, everybody. My name is Jeff Downs, and I'm the Vice President of Client Engagement and Marketing here at Mosaic Consulting Group. And we're super excited that you're joining us today in continuation of our webinar series. And I am super excited with the expert that we're going to have online today. I'm happy to have Troy Sabean on with us today, and he is one of our top technical consultants. And he's going to be speaking to something that I know everybody in this space has been wanting to learn more about, and that's how to be able to better access your core documents in UKG using people analytics. So let's go ahead and get things started. And Troy, I'd like you to go ahead and introduce yourself to the audience here today.
Thank you so much, Jeff. It's a pleasure to be here with you all today. As Jeff said, my name is Troy Sabean. I've been working in the UKG space for a good part of 10 years now, and for the bulk of that, really gravitated towards BI reporting, seeing what we can get out of our system, and really helping the people that I partner with unlock the power of their data. And that's what I want to be able to help you all do a little bit today, is leverage BI, get a little bit more out of your system, and hopefully take things to the next level. Our topic today, we're going to look at deep linking to documents in UKG Pro Core. So if you've worked with documents in the past, you are probably familiar, especially within Core, when you have to get to a document, you have to navigate to each person, then open up their documents tab, then open up that given document that you want to see. And in this session, we're actually going to build out URLs that take us directly to documents. So in a report, we can just start clicking links, downloading documents, instead of having to navigate through dozens or hundreds of employees in the event of an audit. So the concept of deep linking is something that UKG has covered in a few different support articles and a few different webinars. The idea is you are able to build a link or have a link that goes to a particular page in your system. And one of the challenges is the document URL is a little bit different than other pages, and so we need to massage it a little bit to be able to get the format built out correctly. I'm going to show you how to do that, how you can apply that logic into your environment, and then hopefully help you resolve this challenge of accessing these documents and being able to pull a significant amount of documents in the event of an audit, a lawsuit, or just validating what you have in your system. Make things a bit easier for you all. So what we're going to do is build a report that will look somewhat like this. It's going to list out our employees, and it's going to list out the documents that are associated with them. And as you can see in the document title section, it's not just text that's formatted to be blue and underlined, it's a URL. So we're actually going to be able to start clicking those in our report. This content is, with most BI things, it's best learned live. So I've got a sandbox environment pulled up right now. And Jeff, if we could switch over to the live demo, that would be very appreciated.
Absolutely. Let's go right to it.
Love it. Thank you. All right. So just to be fair warning, this is a sandbox environment, so there's going to be some stuff that looks a little bit different, like ABC123 and other stuff like that. But at the core of things, at the core of core, you could say, it's going to be the same. So when I want to navigate and access someone's document, I need to search for my employee, load up their record, wait for that record to load up. On the left-hand side, go to their Documents tab, open up their Documents page, and then I can click on these links to be able to start downloading documents. But like I said, that can be a little bit cumbersome in the event of an audit or when you're trying to pull out a significant number of documents for a variety of employees. So let's get started in building our report. What we're going to do is open up, I typically use Notepad when I'm when I'm pulling out URLs to save them, but I want to highlight a couple of things during this demo, so I'm going to use WordPad. The first URL that we want to grab is this top one, and we'll paste that into our document. And the second URL, we're going to want to right-click on an icon for a document, and then we're going to copy the link address. Okay. And the reason that we're grabbing both of these URLs is this bottom URL with the JavaScript, window manager, pop-up general. This isn't something that I'm just going to be able to paste into my browser window and navigate to. There's a little something more going on. So what we're going to do now is understand the kind of the schema of how these URLs are built out. And once we can get a URL that functions and allows us to download one document, we can take that logic, put it into BI, and then apply it to hundreds, dozens, thousands of documents all in one go. So when and my familiarity with this URL structure really comes from having done deep links and working in the BI space for a while. So I'm just gonna walk you through what I see and what I observe when I look at these. So from my document URL, this chunk, not including the single quotes, this chunk right here is typically something that I'll see right after my environment URL. So that section I really frequently see right here. And then from here, I see, so typically when we deep link, there's a lot of elements that indicate uniqueness that are combined together. So we have our co-ID, our country ID, our EEID, the security that's being used to access them. And I'm seeing the same type of logic in my document URL right here, where I have a co-ID, a country ID, an EEID, the security role, and then the system ID. So let's highlight that as well. And what we're going to do is take the white text from this and then replace the yellow with the green. So let's just copy and paste. And any questions that you have, feel free to put them in the chat. We'll be able to answer them at the end of the session. But also, we're going to send out the PDF, the slide deck, to everyone that registered. We'll be emailing it later. So
real quick, Troy, there was one quick question that came in I do want to address because it's literally right what you spoke about is, can you repeat how you got the URL?
Of course, yes. So we grabbed two URLs. The first URL was this top bar. So when I'm in Mark Barron's record on his document page, I grabbed this URL. And for the second URL, I right-clicked on the icon that I would click to download the document. And then I clicked on this save or copy link address. And that's the one that gives me the JavaScript pop-up doc manager type of syntax. So those are the two URLs that we're grabbing today. So this is the top bar, and this is the right click. Right. Now I'm going to do my mashup and pull these two items together. So we replaced that content. We replaced default child with pages utility view file content. And then whenever I'm having trouble highlighting things, I don't know if any of you ever use, like, you hold shift and then you use the arrow keys and you can do a more precise highlight. I really default to that when I'm working with, when Word tries to help you and it tries to highlight things that you don't want to highlight. So I copied this green portion of the text, and then down here on my final URL, starting with co-ID, I'm going to replace it with that green text. And from here, let me just take a quick look. That looks good. We're going to test and see if this URL format works. And I popped it in, and it's offering me the opportunity to download a document. So right there, we're cooking with gas. We've got the URL format all in place. Now we can take things a little bit further and take that URL format. We're going to hold on to that in our back pocket, and we're going to modify it and put in some data items from BI into that URL format. And then we're going to build those out programmatically for all of our documents. So I just took my URL that we made that worked, and I put it in my notepad. And from here, we're going to navigate to BI. Okay, we're going to build a new report. And we'll double click on the blank template for our source. We're going to use the administrator package. If you've ever worked with me, you know when I say when you're reporting in Core, you want to use that administrator package. It's got everything, and nothing more heartbreaking than having a report that you want to just add one more field to, and it's not in the package you're working with. We're going to go to our queries, create a new query. And we'll just name our query for fun. Now we're going to go hunting for our data items. Employee information is the folder we're going to open. Then employee documents. And then system fields. System fields is where is in a lot of these directories and tables. And system fields is where you're going to find those unique identifiers that UKG uses behind the scenes. So when I was looking to build this report, I looked at the unique identifiers I would need. I would need co-ID, I would need EEID, and I would need system ID. And when I look through here, I've got co-ID, I've got EEID, and I've got system ID. So let's pull those into our query. Then we're going to make a data item, and this is actually going to be our URL. We're going to copy our URL that we got working and tested a little bit earlier during this session, paste it into our frame, and then we're going to use some of the string functions that you see within BI. So we're going to slice this up and take the things that are in every single URL, keep those hard-coded, and for the things that change for each URL, we're going to associate them with a data item. So I'm just going to do a single quote here, because from HTTPS all the way to my co-ID, that's going to be the same. We're going to concatenate, and then we're going to replace our co-ID with this data item, concatenate, hard code a string through this EEID equals, concatenate there, replace EEID, the hard-coded EEID with our data item. Yes, this will only work for documents in core. This is specific to, yeah, the core documents. Good question. We're going to concatenate that, and then we'll do another single quote. I'm going to leave the security in place. So this report will work for anybody that has this role assigned to them. Similarly, I'm going to keep the country hard-coded as USA. If you operate in multiple countries and you need to bring in country code, you just need to add a couple more steps to this report. Those being a query that looks at your company business rules, and then you grab that co-ID from that page, and then also your country code, and then join that information in with your documents query to get the country code. And then for our security, I'm just going to keep this hard-coded in this report. Typically when I've made this, it's people that are on the HR admin team that are utilizing this report, so they all have the same security. But if you wanted to, you could adapt this report and put in a prompt or put in a drop down that allows you to select that security. But 99% of the time we keep that in place. So I got on a little bit of a tangent there. We just started to hard code this section in, and we're going to lock that in place. Do another concatenate, replace this string with our system ID, and then keep that exclamation point in place. We'll validate our expression. And I always like to view my tabular data after validating an expression, especially when I'm doing something with a lot of operators in a single field. So I just click that View Tabular Data icon, and then we hold our breath a little bit. All right, so I've started to build out these URLs. So things are happening. I tend to move my system fields to the bottom as I build a report. It's more of a personal preference, but it keeps things a little bit cleaner. I'm going to grab my category, document title, upload date and expiration date, and bring those into my query. And then pull in a couple of employee demographic and employee information types of fields. Right. Just for the purpose of this demo, I'm going to put in a filter here, but you won't need to do that in real life or when you apply it to your scenario. I just have a few things that I uploaded, and then it keeps things a little bit more brief.
I just want to address one thing real quick to everybody watching. I've had a couple comments that you guys are saying it's blurry on your end. Not sure if it's internet connectivity or what. It's very clear on my end. So hopefully you guys are enjoying this. From the comments, it sounds like you guys are. That's fantastic. If you guys want a recording of this, email me directly and I'll make sure I get the recording out to you.
Thank you so much, Jeff. So now we have our query built out. I love a simple query. What's better than that, right? No joins, no unions, nothing, no SQL. Yeah, this is a good report to write. Then we're going to build out our page. I'm going to grab everything except for document title and URL, and we'll drop that in. You might have not known that you can just create a list by dragging things over from the query you're reporting on. It also saves you the dexterity challenge of adding columns in. I always, not always, but sometimes you might be a little quick with your mouse, and then Cognos looks real funky. All right, we're going to go to our toolbox. And for this demo, we're going to use a hyperlink. So it'll be under textual. And then with the hyperlink, we're going to highlight this list column body section. And we're going to make the text that appears in our hyperlink, instead of it just saying hyperlink, we're going to tie it to a data item value. And we're going to use document title. So instead of this hyperlink just saying link, 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 it's actually going to say what we're trying to access. And then for our URL source, similarly, we're going to use a data item value, and we're going to look at our URL data item. Just for neat and tidiness, I'm going to change that heading here to document title. And I know you're saying, Troy, run the report, run the report. I'm just going to do a little bit of grouping, and then we'll get to see what this looks like. All right. Now, watch, I'll get a parsing error. Now, I've run through this a few times, I shouldn't, but it's always that nail biter when you're running a report that you've been working on for a bit. And you're like, come on, please, work, work, work. Right, there we have it. We have our list of employees and their documents. And now I can just start clicking and downloading these documents. So I had let me just add a, so I just had a pop-up up here that said, all right, you can download this file name. Awesome. And then another one. Yep, we're going to download that file. I'm going to start downloading files from Rebecca now. All right, Don, we're going to download you next. And yeah, it just saves so much time when pulling these documents from people. Another thing that's kind of cool, this document here, we're past the expiration date. So typically in Core, I wouldn't be able to see that, and I might have to put in a case to download it. In this report, I'm actually able to download it right there. So yeah, we in the span of probably 20 minutes or so, we were able to build a report that lets us navigate to multiple employees, start downloading documents for them. And it might have taken about the time it would take to navigate to 10 or 20 employees and start pulling things. So this is a super valuable report, a huge time saver if you're in an industry that's audited regularly. If you're in an industry that's audited regularly, this is going to be such a time saver, such a lifesaver for you all. I know just the panic of needing to download thousands of files and needing to go from employee to employee can be overwhelming. Another great use for this report is actually accessing and reviewing the documents that you do have in your system. So many people will get a document, upload it, and never look at it again because it's time consuming and they have so many other things on their radar. This helps reduce some of those barriers and lets you have a little bit more visibility into that information that you're retaining as an organization. So,
hey Troy, for what it's worth, you're blowing people's minds on a Wednesday. They're like, this is amazing, and we're super happy that you guys are enjoying it. Again, sorry for some of the blurriness and what have you. If you do email me, I will get you the recording in a PDF. But just to throw it out there as well, this is what we're doing with our clients every single day here at Mosaic Consulting Group, and we have many different experts like Troy that are working with people every single day. And I think it's, and even for me watching, I'm definitely not an expert at this by any stretch of the imagination, but seeing it, being able to walk through it like step by step is so helpful, and it's like easy to replicate. And Troy, you do such a great job. We really appreciate it.
Thank you so much, Jeff. I really appreciate that, and I really, being able to help people, like I said, unlock the power of their data, take their systems to the next level is something that I am so passionate about and love being able to help people, and getting to use BI to do creative things. And in this case, we added a feature to Pro that wasn't there before. And we just built that together. So that's just one of the things that really gets me excited and gets me, gives me a lot of energy. So yeah, love partnering with people to help them unlock their information and take their implementations to that next level.
Is there any other slides that we can show in the PDF in case folks want to see that, Troy?
Yeah, if we can swap back over to that PDF. Thank you. So from
I think this is gonna answer some of your guys' questions, because Troy was kind enough to kind of build this out step by step. And that's why I was mentioning, like, the only people that are going to get this are for those of you that made the commitment to be on here live today. We really appreciate that. So this is something that, out of kindness of Troy's heart, he put this together. This is $1 million information here. So appreciate that, Troy.
Hey, of course. So we talked about building out the URL structure. So we have this highlighted area of the information that we're going to use. Just one call out is, when you are building out your URL, the Pro environment link is going to be different. So the one that we were working on in the demo was et16.altipro.com. Your URL is going to be different. And so just be mindful of that. That's why I replaced it with all X's during this build of the report.
I'm going to throw a couple questions in real quick, Troy, just because while we're on here.
Yeah.
If you run to Excel, will the links be there and work?
Yes, they will. Yes, if you use the hyperlink method, you will. If you use that hyperlink method that I showed you, you will be able to use it right in Excel. You'll need to be logged into Pro for the links to actually work and take you somewhere. But yeah, I was just testing that out the other day. And then here I've got the format of what that URL looks like. So you might even be able to copy and paste that into your environment, just changing that text at the beginning that I replaced with X's. And here, this is just a little bit more of a complex query that I had built out, but I didn't want to drown out the excitement of getting that report running with, like, oh, we've all seen org 1 before. We know what our org 2s look like. For the grouping, instead of going and grouping by employee number and employee name, what I did was I grouped by employee number, and then I did these group spans on the side. So it will help keep things a little bit more, when you have a lot of groups going and it starts to get kind of condensed, that gets challenging.
Another quick question here, Troy.
Yeah. For Document Manager, this is strictly for core documents. So I'm not sure if we could build something with Document Manager to be fully transparent, but yeah, this is built for core exclusively. In this demo, I did in this slide deck, instead of using the hyperlink, I did an HTML item. Typically, I use, it depends on what the customer wants. The HTML item is nice because if the document was deleted or it tries to pull you to like an error page, you can tell it to always open in a new tab so you don't navigate away from your report. But that's kind of that's something that you can choose for yourselves. The hyperlink option is a little bit easier, but the HTML item, it might run a little bit better if you're doing it always in web. The HTML item does not appear in Excel, so just a call out there. Running the report, we already got to see how that looks, so we're good there.
Yeah, we got it. It's funny you put that slide up, and I'm about ready to throw another question right at
Yeah.
you. Here it is. There it is.
So by default, you would have to click each document. You might be able to use a download manager or third-party application to download documents en masse, but from the delivery, it will be one click per document.
Fantastic. So one of the things, well, first of all, I want to say, Troy, fantastic job. I mean, amazing. You've blown a lot of minds. People have found a lot of value in this, and honestly, that's what our intention is here, to provide as much value as possible. Just out of curiosity, how many of you guys are going to be attending Aspire? If you're going to be attending Aspire, throw a 1 in the chat. We're going to be doing some pretty cool stuff at Aspire. I'm assuming the majority of you guys are following us on LinkedIn. If you're not, every single Tuesday at noon Eastern Standard Time, we do what's called the Mosaic Minute, where we do a lot of other content sharing and cool strategies and tactics. We're going to be doing more webinars. We're rolling out a whole bunch of really interesting things here. And I will tell you guys this, the magic in taking everything to the next level is the frequency. And, one of the things for me, and I'm around a bunch of brilliant people every single day and looking at these experts, and it's like when you can continue to get these areas where you can, really have a step-by-step way, it really helps to be able to provide transformation. So I had a dedicated team here to support you guys. So if there's anything that you need, or you have any questions, or you just kind of want to pick our brain and figure it out, again, email me. Be more than happy to set up a time for a quick strategy call with you guys and answer any particular questions that you have. Man, it looks like a lot of people are going to be attending Aspire. And Cheryl, she put in 6 ones. I think Cheryl's pretty excited about going to Aspire. That's awesome, Cheryl. Hopefully I get to meet you there. We're going to have a pretty big booth, a pretty big presence. By the way, we're hosting the opening night party at Aspire, so you guys will be able to attend that as well. That's a ton of fun. So anyway, Troy, to close us out, do you have anything? And I guess the question that I would ask, maybe for some of the people watching today, what would you say are like the top 3 things that, with you working with clients every single day, the top 3 commonalities that you see that maybe people watching this today could think through, and you can give them a little bit of advice to help them get to the next level?
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. So I think that the big questions that come up and that kind of inspire reports and projects like this are, looking at kind of the why nots. Why can't I do this? Why not? Let's try and build something. Look at some of your biggest pain points or areas that can cause concern or undue risk. Document retention and document cleanup and auditing and admissible documents are huge. So being able to better control that information and have more access to the information that we use is a really big thing. And for anyone that I'm working with on business intelligence, people analytics work, we like to look at what are you doing with reports after you pull them out of the system. Are you manipulating them yourself in Excel? Are you combining multiple reports? Are you using reports to inform you of actions that you need to take within the system? We can start to build things out that help you tighten those processes, remove manual steps. And when you remove those manual steps, you reduce your opportunity for making error, and you increase the amount of time that you're able to spend in strategic initiatives and taking things to the next level. So I love partnering with people and being able to help them really invest and be future focused versus process focused.
Fantastic. So again, we want to be very cognizant of your guys' time here, so we appreciate you jumping on. Last thing before we sign off, again, this is for you guys. Throw in the comments maybe some things you would like to see us do on future webinars to help you. What are the things that you feel stuck with right now with your day-to-day? If you can throw that in the comments, we will do our best to try to include that in our series. So if you want to do that, that would be fantastic. And other than that, again, great job, Troy, and we appreciate all you guys jumping on. And until next time, we will see you on the Mosaic webinar. And don't forget, follow us on LinkedIn for that Mosaic Minute. We're going to have a really cool one coming up this Tuesday. You guys definitely won't want to miss. So again, we appreciate you guys so much and hope you have a great day. And thank you for all your engagement. Take care.